Okay.
Okay. So hello everybody again. We were hoping to
Hello.
have a little bit more people. My name is Chobnai, and Mary and I will be supporting this working group. I'm based in Kyrgyzstan. I work at the NGO Agricultural Research Center. So we made up a little agenda. So welcome, and we'll just first would like to go through what we have today. First, we would Mario was very kind to agree to make a presentation about the NGOs in Mauritius, what kind of challenges they face, and so we can just better understand what challenges different NGOs face in different regions and in different countries. So we would like to have the presentation for about 15 minutes. And after that, I would like to discuss and ask questions if we have any. And after that, we would like to present our outreach plan that we've made. This is a very tentative draft plan, and this is what we're just proposing. And if you have any other feedback, comments, any other ideas to make it more effective or efficient, you're more than welcome to provide your opinions on it, because it's an open document, it's a work in progress, and we're very much will appreciate anything that you would like to share. And after that, of course, question and answers and closing of the meeting. And we will be recording the meeting, and we're also thinking to send it to the general listserv, because right now we have a very few people on our list, but we would like to extend it. So as many people, as many NGOs we would like to have in this group involved. So after this meeting, we will prepare the minutes, and we will prepare the recording, and we will send everything out to the general listserv of the ICH NGO forum, so everybody has access to it. On this note, I would like to give the floor to Maru, so you can please share your presentation with us.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning from Mauritius. I'm Maruzia Bouveri from Aben, and I will do the presentation now. Oh, so just a sec, I'll try to share it from, okay. Let's see if I can do that. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right. I'll just arrange my screen. All right. So let's start. So although a very newly accredited NGO to UNESCO since 2020, we thought it would be nice to share the situation about the accredited NGO and the way CSOs are organized in Mauritius. So thank you again for giving me this opportunity. So first of all, we would like to bring you a little in Mauritius and give you an overview. Some of you may have been to Mauritius or have heard about it, have visited it in 2013. So what is Mauritius? It's situated on the southeast coast of Africa. And as you can see in the picture above, it is a wide, rather large territory. In the white dotted lines, there is Mauritius, the larger island country. And there are four other islands, namely Rodrigues Island. Somewhere here is an island called Saint-Brandon, Agalega, and then here you have the Chagos Archipelago, which is still under UK colonial rule. And one of the islands there, Diego Garcia, is a military base for USC. So as you can see, I call it my country because it's not only Mauritius, but Mauritius is really a big archipelago. So on the history of Mauritius, we have a violent history here in Mauritius because we believe the colonial period, and a very traumatic period for us, which is not far away because it's only 300 years ago, followed by the indentured system. But we've managed to stay resilient and to build a rich cultural diversity country. And so culture here is very important. And we have a state which has signed many conventions. And this is a very good thing because it helps to keep on the agenda very important things for the people of Mauritius. Now, a little bit on the way civil society organizes. What must be said is that freedom of speech, freedom of association is a very, let me find my vocabulary, is a reality here in Mauritius. And we have the legal framework which is necessary with 10,900 associations. From this figure, there are about 6,000 who are quite alive and very vocal. Out of this number, there are around 260 registered NGOs who are well structured. And in the cultural, on the cultural side, it's very vivid, very buoyant. I've had this figure from the Society of Artists. So there are on the list around 500 musicians and registered groups. And of course, in the other domains, it's also nice figures. So when you look at the figure, you can see that it's really a vibrant community, but the number of NGO indulging into cultural activities is very low. So most are interest-oriented base. You'll have many youth clubs, many women association, sports club, and many also religious bodies. So very few users ICH, except some cultural activists, but they are not into the advocacy line. They do not promote as we do in our bank. So a little bit of our bank, we are very new, as I've said before, but we are a very old association. We will be celebrating our 40th anniversary this year, and the independence is 54. So we started sometime after the independence because there was a necessity for the development of people on the social grounds. But then very quickly we, excuse me, we started to use culture and ICH first towards the differently abled blind people, but then very quickly with the children, the young persons, their families, and the society at large. So we are well known at the national level, but you can ask yourself the question why we had this accreditation so late, because it's only 2 years that we are present in UNESCO. It's just that because, as I've already said in one of the previous working group, that we were not aware. Nobody told us. So the institution or the academia or the people who knew didn't inform us. So I also know that there are many Mauritians working on UNESCO, but we didn't get the information. And for us, it's the basis of this whole and the representation of NGOs or on UNESCO, right? If we have a look now at the region and the group, just before we were discussing about the figures, so we must take the figures not confirmed. I've got them from the side of UNESCO, and I've talked to some people on the steering committee, so I'm not sure. But what I'm sure is that in the Indian Ocean where we are, apart from Mauritius, you have Madagascar, who has got one accredited NGO. So it's very little for such a big ocean, right? And there are countries like the Seychelles who are very active, I know, culturally. They were the first island, first country to begin a festival, which is now worldwide, which is called the Festival Creole. So there is no reason why they don't have NGOs accredited there. And in Africa, let's say almost 22. And when you know that Africa is the birthplace of civilization, we can improve this situation in the group 5. And the way to it, I think, is being worked upon by the working group, effectively by the ICH NGO Forum. And we think that one of the things that can be done too is to put emphasis on these underrepresented regions. That is, can we get UNESCO to effectively come to these regions, come to Mauritius, because we were able to know about UNESCO and get accredited by the people of UNESCO themselves. It was a chance meeting, and if we didn't met them, we would have been here today. So, like a parent looking after the weak child, it would be good that UNESCO devote more time to the underrepresented region. There's also the necessity to carry on capacity building, but sometimes capacity building, the people that you find there it's not the communities that make ICH. These communities come from the working class, and they are apart. They don't know about what's going on. There's a difficulty in the language because we are not native English or French speaking people. I'm talking for Mauritius, but I mean, this situation is certainly the same for Africa and the Arab region too. So we must address, and I think UNESCO has the capacity to address these issues, technology and everything, and really put communities in their place and give them their recognition, because they can really help to increase the number of accredited NGOs and have a voice. So the action from the NGOs, what we've done in Mauritius since we've been accredited, is we've been trying to understand the mechanism that makes UNESCO. We are still learning about the workings of UNESCO, and it's big work. It's sometimes complicated because we are a small NGO in terms of the staff and the human resource here. But we are trying to develop a system where some people of Aben and some people outside Aben comes and meet to discuss UNESCO and to try to understand more about this convention. What we've been able to do also is to network with other local, they are not association, but artists who use ICH, who are now elderly people. And we've put in place an association that is called l'Association Pratiquant Typique. We've helped to put this association in place. The association then regroups the practitioners of the Sega Typique, which is inscribed on the list of UNESCO. And it's very difficult to get meetings because people live in rural regions, and even if we have a good network of transport, but it costs money. And this is what accredited NGOs can do and must do to get people getting together. So here I've tried to give you an overview picture of what's happening in Mauritius. And if you have any question and clarity, I'm here to respond. Thank you very much for your attention.
Yes, thank you, Maru. That was a very wonderfully structured presentation. So if we have any other questions or comments, the floor is open, please. Yep,
Kalpana,
Mary?
please.
Yes,
Thank
yep.
you, Maru. That was very, very interesting, very nice to hear. I just want to remind us, well, I can't remember where we talked about it, but we had an idea that one way of going forward with our work to spread the knowledge about the possibility of accreditation would be could function so that we try to take care of our neighboring countries always. That if you find a country that you know from your neighboring area, that's maybe most likely, or somehow you have been working with other NGOs, or that work on the same field as your NGO, that might be kind of like a logical way forward, so that you could contact your neighboring countries and ask them if they know about this, because people have, or the NGOs or the associations, you have or we all have our own networks on our own topics. So this is, I think, something that has been on my mind for after we talked about it, that might be a very effective way of going forward. And now that you mentioned Seychelles as a country with no accredited NGOs, but actually the culture very very vibrant, and you thought that there should be. So I think this is something that at least we should consider as a, like some kind of a, I don't know, how could we make Moru to contact Seychelles to ask them to get accredited for your contacts there? Just if we could be in help, or have this awareness raising or capacity building material produced, so that it would help kind of the situation. It would push the different actors, the accredited NGOs, to go to talk with their neighboring countries and their associations. So just to remind this topic that we have talked about. But thank you. That was very good presentation. Very interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you, and we have some contact there. And we've been to Seychelles for concerts on some occasion, but it's been a long time that we haven't been there. So yes, we will have to get this on our agenda and try to see if there are some interesting NGOs. But what I must say also is that because of our past, compared to you people from the Western or the East part of the world, oral tradition and ICH has not been promoted. It's only for these last years that we've seen a shift when Mauritius has started getting things on the heritage list. It has had an impact in Mauritius. So it's only now that people are open to this thing, that ICH is interesting, it's important, and that we must care about it. So it might take some more years for the Indian Ocean. But I think that for a continent like Africa, I've been to South Africa and to Madagascar also sometimes. These countries, they really have many NGOs who are already active. But the problem is also first to know about UNESCO and the ICH and this accreditation, but also to get help for the documents, to get help for the processing. And this can only be done by structured NGO or by the institution themselves, by the state, even if it's not at the state level, but the people working in the Ministry of Arts and Culture or the heritage funds can help. So this is also a very important part of the solution.
Thank you, Mara, and your concerns and your ideas, they perfectly resonate with with the outreach plan or strategy that we were thinking and trying to develop within this working group. So it's very important if you could stay with us and join all our meetings and be part of making or creating this outreach plan that we have, because I think it's very important when many NGOs or focal points from different regions are involved, so we can have a better understanding and better picture. And because we don't know the situation in your part of the world, and it's so hard for us to get in touch or to touch base with those organizations who are actively working there. And also the importance of ICH also in the Central Asian region, which is part of the Asia Pacific, where I'm from, is the notion of ICE is just getting, getting the attention and focus just for the last 4 or 5 years, I think. So we're also new to this, and so I think through our joint efforts, we could try to build something that is more sustainable. Yes, thank you so much for your presentation. Yes, Einar, Kalayan, do you have anything to add or any questions?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We was in Mauritius. It's a very nice country. On a meeting on UNESCO, it's very, very good memories. We still was free to take everything.
Glad to hear about that.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to be there. I think that the spread the information for accreditation, for possibility of accreditation, maybe it will be nice to organize some kind of workshops, because on the UNESCO site there is a big number of information for capacity building, and maybe it will be very useful if we make some agenda to because there is many aspects of the convention, but if we make some kind of agenda to make in a workshops on different issues in a convention, the information I saw the information of capacity building, it's completely rich, and we can use everything of this, and we already know the people that is experts in some of the cases, because when we make for newcomers, European is very nice to make every time for a newcomers information, but this information is some kind of wants to present everything, and this is too much information for newcomers and for everybody. I'm in a convention. Our NGO is in a convention almost 5 years, and we don't know everything, every aspect of the convention, and it will be useful for not only for newcomers but for every NGOs, and I think that it will be nice if it's open not only for accredited NGOs, but to invite and new NGOs, and in the same time we can make a building in a knowledge of convention of accredited NGOs, and the new NGOs can come to see what's going on. I understand that there is so many information and everybody can read, but you know the conversation in digital way is better than than only read. and the understanding is more rich, more good. And I understand that the living touch with the personalities is very nice and very, but in some cases it's too expensive for NGOs that they have no budget for meetings in life. Anyway, one NGO can make one or two going abroad to make командировка, make a trip to other side of the world to make a live a living meeting, a live meeting between the people, and the opportunity to have a digital skills because of COVID we can use very well, I think.
Thank you, Kalyan. Yeah, that's very important. I have to have the necessary skills, and especially, yeah, please, Mara.
Thank you, Kalayan, for all these points. I'd like also to share my point of view on this necessity for NGOs to meet. Yes, we've got the Zoom and everything, but I think that what makes a difference is also to come to our country, to come to organize meetings, seminars, capacity building in the countries of these underrepresented regions. I remember when the 13Com was organized in Mauritius, and I know that UNESCO does this very well, that they go around the world. But when it came to Mauritius, we were not invited by the institutions. We learned about it in the media, in the network, not in the media, in the networking of NGOs where we are. So we just learned about it that way, and we asked for permission then to go to assist 13Com. So it really makes a difference, because sometimes all the routes that are already made to communicate to people does not work. And when there are things that are organized in the country, it makes a difference for people to know, to be aware, and then to move and to connect with others.
Yes, thank you, Mara. Yeah, it is very nice to visit the countries. Of course, to have a live workshops and meetings, yeah, that would be, of course, ideal, but the world is too big. Yes, Kalayan. And I think Einar is still waiting for his turn. And we have
Yes,
Mari.
I just want to say that I am not against the living meeting, of course, but we can use the digital way as a art of our live meeting. Yes, it's just some kind of updating or adding and use the technology.
Yeah. And Einar, you never got the chance to take the floor, please.
I can be short. I was just thinking that the situation is different in different parts of the world. But the thing that I've seen also in Norway is the need for communication in the mother tongue here as well. So I guess that would be the same all over, that the communication, I mean, the language barrier is, I think, actually here as well a bit, but I would guess it would be, so as you say, the outreach plan, and that's a very good idea.
Yes, thank you. we're losing you there and here, bits and pieces, but yeah, your idea is, yeah. We've been also discussing in one of our previous meetings that language is a very, very big obstacle, especially in the region. So we were also thinking to develop as part of the capacity building and awareness raising materials in different regional languages like Russian, Arabic, French, or these major languages that are spoken in different regions. So this way, then we will be able to have wide outreach. But this is also the part of the outreach plan, and we're just making baby steps right now, just starting our work. So we still have a lot of progress to make and a lot of work to make. So that's also the language issue is also part of them. Part of the plan, yeah. And I think we still have, I think we have two more people. Marie, I know it's Marie Agatha.
Yes.
Are you here with us? Yes, Marie.
Yes.
Glad you could join us.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
No, it's fine. We just we heard a wonderful presentation from Mauritius, from Mauro, from Abe. So we were just discussing and reflecting on different aspects and challenges of involving more NGOs from underrepresented regions. So good to have you with us, even though you're late. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Yeah, and yes, Mara.
Yes, if I may just react to Aina's comment. The mother tongue in Mauritius here is spoken like by 99% of people is the Creole language, but English is the official language. So it's taught in the school, and French is also spoken, but this is really the thing that prevents people to get empowered. So this is one area that we've been working for the last 40 years, that in bringing the mother tongue to become one of the official language. We still have a lot of struggles to go there, but at least it's in the school for the children. So what happens now to the people who are outside the school? Most of the literacy rate is very high in Mauritius. So most of the people doing using ICH, the artists and everything, they do not use English and French like me correctly. So it's a very difficult point, and there must be then really when you see the difficulty, there must be ways then to get them engaged and to give them the speech so that everybody hears what they say. So this is a very difficult issue here in Mauritius, and I would think that it's the same for all the for the whole Republic of Mauritius.
Any other comments? Feedback? Okay, then if you don't have any more, yes, please.
The issue of language, it's for here in Nigeria, it's also a very complicated issue because we have over 250 languages, and there is over and counting. And I mean languages, not dialects. So for us here, the official language, put it that way, is English. And I know that as an ICTM member, we have this language issue also, even in our organization. And we're trying to see how we can negotiate that by making say for our journal, for example, the abstracts have to come from the language where the research was done. So that at least if anybody from the area, they pick up the journal, they can at least read the abstract of whatever is said about their traditions. So it's generally a big problem. So I would really be very happy to see how this forum negotiates that and comes to the kind of solution.
Yes, thank you, Maria Gata. It's very interesting to know that you have so many languages in Nigeria. Yeah, it's a very interesting fact.
It's crazy because my mother and my father speak 2 different languages. My maternal grandmother and my maternal grandfather, they speak 2 different languages. So most often in the family, you see children becoming linguists already by
so rich.
Yeah, but it's amazing. Yeah.
You want to, when you talk to grandma, you don't want to speak grandpa's language, you know, especially if you want something from grandma.
Yeah. That's very interesting. Yes. Thank you. So I think we're just in the nick of time. So we could just maybe go forward to our outreach plan, and then we'll have more time to discuss it and ponder upon it. So just I would like to remind that our group, we officially launched the group during 16Com. And all the information is available on the website. I will show you here. So if you go to the ICHNGO.com, here there is like a link on working groups of the ICH NGO Forum. And here's our group, More Balanced Geographical Representation of NGOs. And we uploaded all our documents here. Here we have activities and schedule for 2022. Perhaps you would like to share it with other NGOs who would be interested to be part of this group. So here we've uploaded the activities that we drafted for 2022. And we have the schedule of meetings. We already have the dates. We'll have our meeting once every 2 months. So this is our January meeting, March meeting, May, July, September, November. So we have already the links to join the meetings, and the timing is here. It's GMT +1 is Central European time. So everyone's other time will have the morning meetings and then the afternoon meetings. So just to have the balance. And also we have the mission statement. We have the rationale and our nature and mission and objectives. So this is also on the website if you would like to share with others, or if you'd like to know more of what we would like to do. And the background note on the problem of imbalance. The document, it's fairly long, and it explains the importance and the relevancy of the group. And we have this wonderful presentation prepared by Kalayan. It's NGOs, accredited NGOs in the convention. So here's the distribution chart of the NGOs by region, by states. So it's a very, very nicely put visual representation of NGOs. So if you would like to use it as a reference, all the information and materials here are on the website. And then we would like to proceed to the presentation that we made. This is our outreach plan. It's just a draft. So it's an open document in progress. So any feedbacks that you would like to share with us, you're more than welcome. We just called it an outreach plan. Here we would just like to touch upon the different aspects, like we would like to discuss the goal of the plan, the problem that we'd like to solve, and the strategy or strategies we'd like to use, activities and tasks and timeline, and of course the outcome. So once again, this is just a very, very tentative draft. and any of your valuable opinion is more than welcome. So the goal is to address unbalanced distribution of accredited NGOs by encouraging and rendering information-wise support to potential NGOs from underrepresented regions and countries. The problem is that unbalanced distribution of accredited NGOs across the 6 electoral regions and total lack of representation from many countries. And we would like to show you the Kaloyan's slide. So if you just take a look at here, so here are the 6 electoral groups and the states in the convention. So from the Western Europe and North America, there are 22 states, and accredited NGOs by region is 104, and states with NGOs is 17. It looks that accredited NGOs by region is 104, but states there are only 17. So if you just take a look at the chart, we can actually make sense that even in the most represented regions, there's still unbalanced distribution of NGOs. And so if we take a look at the distribution in group 1, there are 5 states without accredited NGOs, in total of 104 accredited NGOs in Western Europe and North America. And there are 5 states that are not in the convention. So those 5 states are marked in blue. And these are the countries that have no NGOs, like Andorra, Iceland, Luxembourg, Malta, and Netherlands. But here in this group, the representation is more or less okay. The next group is distributed in Eastern Europe. In Eastern Europe, there are 10 states without accredited NGOs, although there are 24 states in the convention. So for some reason, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan are also in the Eastern Europe, although they're like in the Central Asian region, but still, so you can see the countries that have no NGOs at all. And then the problem gets worse if we move towards Latin America and the Caribbean. Here we have 32 states and 1 state that is not in the convention. And we have only 6 states with accredited NGOs, while 21 states without accredited NGOs. Here, the second column, mostly all of them says no, 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 no. So most of these states, they have no NGO representation. Then in Asia and the Pacific, although it's a very huge region, there are 40 states and 32 states without accredited NGOs. So also the situation here is not very well. And in Africa, here are 44 states and 1 state not in the convention, I think. No, 1 state. But 33 states without accredited NGOs. Also, the second column here, almost none of the countries have no representation. And the same goes to Arab states. We have 18 states and 14 states without accredited NGOs. So we can see that the problem of unbalanced distribution of NGOs is very relevant and is very acute. So what is our group is trying to do is trying to get as many as possible NGOs with potential for accreditation to know about the accreditation system, to know about the convention, and to somehow encourage them to get accredited and be more actively involved in the work of the ICH NGO Forum, and also be more actively involved in the work of safeguarding and be involved in the convention. So what we were thinking of doing is to building a network, because we already have a big network of those organizations who are already active in their own regions. And so, for example, if we as a working group could reach out to national commissions in those countries with no representation of NGOs, and also we could reach out to other accredited NGOs in the neighboring countries, and also to the regional working groups of the ICH NGO Forum, and ask them whether they could use their own networks and look for the other active NGOs in the field of ICH with the potential for accreditation, but who have no information. And then if we could build up a data or information on them, and we could, and then they could send this information to us, and then we could somehow systemize it and reach out to potential NGOs and deliver awareness raising information. That way, we thought that we could somehow reach out to a wider audience and start getting the attention of the other NGOs that have without previous information. So this is our draft strategy plan, and what activities we are thinking or proposing within the working group is to carry out separate online meetings with regional groups. As you know, on the website of the ICH NGO Forum, there are regional groups for 6 electoral regions. And explaining our purpose and goals and collect data on their partner NGOs working in the field of ICH with the potential for accreditation, and would like to focus will be to look for partner NGOs in the neighboring countries. For example, just like Maru told us, she's been telling that in Fiji, right? You've been saying was it Fiji, right? That there are very interesting NGOs or like very active and who don't know the information. Perhaps like we could have people or focal points and regional focal points who could provide us information on other countries or on other active NGOs. And this way we could start building a network or a data on those NGOs that we could reach out to. And also, yeah, contact the national commissions in not represented countries. For example, take a look at the Kalyan slide and to choose the underrepresented regions, and from the underrepresented regions, choose those countries who have no NGOs and reach out to their national commissions and ask for their national counterparts who are active in the field of ICH and start contacting them. And also what we're trying to do is if the main purpose, of course, is to have a very what do you call it, stable a group of members of our working group. Ideally, it would be perfect to have each electoral region represented, and if they would be taking active part in the work of the working group of this working group, then we would be able to do a lot more, and our work would be a little bit more effective. And so we're trying to reach out to this regional people of contact, the organizations of contact, who could reach out to other NGOs and address them in their regional languages. So, and then this will be a part of awareness raising plan. So perhaps we were thinking that for the awareness raising, we could make like 2-3 minute videos where this regional NGO could be telling about their experience as an accredited NGO, why they got accredited and what benefits does it have, and then how they're involved in the work of the ICH NGO Forum and in the work of the convention, and just to give them a very brief information about the basics, and if other NGOs would be interested to get accredited, then they could reach out either to them or to the working group members to get more detailed information. So, so that's the part of the awareness raising plan. So, and the next, what we're proposing is to task working group members to conduct awareness campaigns and recruit from 1 to 5 NGOs from their neighboring countries. Of course, for that, we need to have a stable pool of members that we have in our working group. So, for example, here in Kyrgyzstan, what we were trying to do is also to reach out to other NGOs that we know. And this way we already got one NGO got accredited, and the other one is trying to apply for the accreditation. Is we're giving them detailed information and also rendering them some assistance. So for example, if they have some problems with the process or the application, we try to help as much as we can. So we were also thinking that if each NGO could also reach out to others in the neighboring countries. For example, Kyrgyzstan could reach out to Kazakhstan, because we know some other countries or some other NGOs that work in that country, but none of them are accredited. So if at least one NGO could try to reach out to 1 or 3 other NGOs in other neighboring countries, then this way we could build up some kind of a pool of newly NGOs with the potential. And one of the other tasks that we have is develop and prepare one sample introduction kit, tackling the basis to be used and adjusted for the awareness raising and recruitment campaign. So this is the information that we would like to provide on the video. So we would like to have, we were thinking of making it, how do you say it, as a sample. So that we provide one information, but in many different languages, and we talk about the same things, I guess. Yeah, and then after, okay, so we've done this networking, and then let's say that theoretically we've done the networking, we've collected enough information on potential NGOs who are interested in accreditation. And after that, what we're thinking and proposing is carry out individual online meetings with interested NGOs to provide more detailed information on different aspects of accreditation. So it's like rendering targeted assistance, like this could be the part of the capacity building plan. Some might need help with application, some might need help with the convention, some might need help with, I don't know, I mean, there's so many different challenges that different NGOs face. So we could try and prepare and support them in their targeted needs. So this way we could have I'd say like more holistic approach. So this is the activities and tasks that we're proposing. Of course, it's all open for discussion and for any adjustments that you think are needed. And so the timeline, we have a very general timeline. This is the part of our plan of activities for 2022. So if we could do the awareness raising campaign through March, May, and July, and perhaps conduct one-on-one online meetings as a capacity building program through September and November. So perhaps we could have something as a tangible outcome by the end of the year and ready for the 17 come. So this is pretty much our very, very brief plan. I'm sorry if I was too fast. I hope I wasn't, and I was clear and coherent enough. I remember repeating too many things at the same time in my head. So if you have any comments, feedback, suggestions, the floor is open. Please don't be shy. This is all our joint working group and all our joint activities. So that would be great to have your input. Yes, Mauro, I see your hand.
Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate the working group. This is well done work, guys. And it's hard work, and I think everything is there. The strategy plan, all the data and everything. One thing I was thinking of, and what I shared in my presentation was we would like also to do awareness campaign here in Mauritius. And would it be possible then, instead of working again on this data, would it be possible to take some of your data in this presentation?
Yes, of course. If Kalayan is not against using his wonderfully structured charts, I think, yeah.
It's published for everybody, to help to everybody, I think. It's okay. And I think it's very, very nice to make some briefly compressed information to help to make a campaigns. And everything that I see in the plan it's wonderful. And now we must define the work, maybe who will make this, and this, because it's a very, very ambitious plan. I think
Yeah.
it's very simple and very ambitious. And thank you very much for your work. And I think that's we must go on and do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kalyan. So it's a very valuable point that you made there. That yes, it's quite ambitious, and at the same time, it's quite simple. That's why probably it's and it's very important that we have, as I mentioned before, have this stable network, not network, but core members of this group that could be working on a consistent basis. So and so we could divide the tasks, and if anybody volunteers and anybody wants to be a person of contact or organization of contact for your region, we'll be more than happy. And so please, any volunteers, we're open. Yes, Koyan.
Maybe we must ask to have a meeting with the steering committee, because I see here that it's very nice to make a combination with the steering committee. That's regional groups start to make some meetings with the regional groups. I was in steering committee 2 or 3 years, and every time I spoke with the members to make some of this kind of meetings in regional, but we didn't come to the decision because there was many other things to do. And as you know, if we have a decision, everybody will do this. Not one region will do, a region cannot do. And maybe if we, as a working group of unrepresented regions, want to see want to make a meeting with the steering committee and share our strategic plan to make together some of events, some of issues. It will be very nice to make open to work, because I understand that the steering committee must have information for the work of the working group, not only to writing in the end of the year what we are doing. It's very important working group for an underrepresented region, and we must pick the work, I think.
Yes, of course, you're perfectly right. So that's why it's a pity that none of the steering committee members could join us today. So perhaps it would be a good idea to have a side meeting. Yes, Mary, with them, with Lori and Janet and everybody else, and just to show our plan and see what they have to say. And also we would like to send the minutes and or the recordings of today's meeting to everybody on the general listserv of the ICH NGO forum. So all the forum members could have access to it. And then because right now our listserv is fairly limited, small, we couldn't reach everybody today, but we would like to have as many people as possible. So yes, steering committee members will definitely have a separate meeting with them, yeah, to discuss it. And any other comments?
Maybe I can.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm from group 1, so I always keep a bit modest. Yes, Jordan, yes. I think this is very important. The work that happens in this group, and I'm very happy to see people from different regions. So just to support the strategy, I think it's good. Maybe it's a bit complex to explain, so maybe you should have like the strong points so that anyone who wants to join the work can easily follow, and then the additional layers so that it's as simple as possible. But I do think that the strategy is good. I also support Kaloyan's concern that really to have a good cooperation with the steering committee in this regard, but I'm sure that you're doing that, so that's not a real concern. And the only thing that I think I would still add, and I have said it already a few times, is that if being from group 1 we can do something, is it in preparing capacity building materials, helping with that more in the background? I will be always ready to help, so that you can ask anytime. Being a facilitator, I can be of help in that way, I think.
Great, thank you so much, Jörg. Of course, any help is more than welcome, certainly.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your readiness.
Jolpana?
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is very important. Also, this steering committee part that we will have to be in close contact with them. Now we don't have. Usually we have had the representation also from the steering committee, but now we don't. And it's also maybe reason for the time we have chosen. We chose to have every second meeting in the Paris time morning, Paris time, and every second time Paris time afternoon. And now it's 3 o'clock in the Americas, or at least in the central part. So that's actually why Laurier, for example, has sent me an email that unfortunately he can't participate, but he was very willing, and other people also from America. So maybe this morning time will be bad for Americas, but then it's always bad for some people. Yeah, this we will send definitely to the steering committee some information and questions if how we will be in closer contact. And then another thing that actually came to my mind, something just an idea, like a practical idea. I know that the outreach plan was also already ambitious and very many activities, but one more came to my mind, just the possibility just to discuss, because I think that the important thing is to get from the underrepresented areas the NGOs who would be potential for accreditation in the future. And it's kind of, if you go to national commissions and the state parties and ask them that which is the best organization to get accredited, I don't know if that's kind of the right approach, because then probably the ones that are more the most motivated to be accredited, or the kind of the people who, or the NGOs who work with the grassroots and the society, they won't get accredited, but it kind of, they get the big ones, and of course they, like, everybody does great work, but I don't know if that's one way of doing it, but it's not solving everything. So I think it's kind of a really important to get the kind of information to the right kind of NGOs who are kind of on the same level with the convention, so that they have enough resources and they work enough with the grassroots, and they have enough this and enough this, and then they get kind of think that, okay, we are suitable and we are willing and so on. But the hard part is to understand which NGOs are these kind of NGOs. And I think one just came to my mind that if we could have in the future some kind every month like a coffee, I don't know, coffee break, they call it here in Finland, with these coffee meetings, like a morning coffees, just very, very low threshold meetings, like a chat room, Zoom open for 1 hour every month or every 2 months or something like that. And the topic would be that if you are interested in getting, if you are from underrepresented area, you are an NGO and you are interested in getting some information, then there would be always some people from us to explain maybe the very basic things and so on. So this is just another idea kind of for kind of getting the right information to the right places, to have this kind of a morning coffee or tea, I don't know, whatever you drink.
Thank you, Mary. That's a great idea. I think this could be also live streamed. That would be great. Yes, Kalayan, please.
It's very nice idea. Thank you, Mati. And I can help with this, that all accredited NGOs can spread in the social media, their social media, this kind of meetings. And our organization have about 10,000 followers. And we can spread the information for this. In my life, I every time have experienced that if you have some meetings or something to do, there is a schedule, there is a time, and then everybody concentrate their power and going there to make. And this is very nice because we have the deadline for application in NGO in UNESCO to be accredited, and we can make 2 or 3 times for learning how to be accredited. And when we spread the information in our network, social media, I think it will be very rich, and we will find the right NGO. Maybe.
Great.
Yeah.
It's very, we have big power because every NGO have a networking with other by social media. It's not need to make a letter to the National Commission. It's good. Maybe it's good, and we can use everything what we get.
Yes.
What we have.
Yeah, of course. It's a wonderful idea. Thank you, Kalyan. And Einar and Mary. Einar, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, well, great work, and it sounds like a very good plan. But I would also say that the idea of small, short videos sounds like a good way of spreading the word, because if they are quite short, it's easy to spread via social media, and you can reach out to groups that we might not even know about. So.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Mary?
Yeah, just to add what Kaloyan said, just that I think we have to keep in mind to focus on the underrepresented areas and the countries always. So this it's kind of because if we do this capacity or the outreach or awareness sharing, and then it goes all to the countries who already have a lot of NGOs, then the situation will only get worse. Just a reminder to kind of that this is I think it's important to underline this all the time, even though we are maybe getting bored of underlining the same thing all the time.
Yes, Maru, and then Mary.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking of, Mari. That is the idea of having coffee meeting and everything. This is going to work for areas and countries who are well connected, who have all the facilities, people who are computer literate and all that. But it does not necessarily work for the underrepresented area. For example, in Mauritius, I think it's going to be of interest for big NGOs who not necessarily are doing are working in the field of activity of the Convention 2003. So each country and each region must look for the ways and means to get to this, to the goal. So it's not necessarily using technology in the first time. I mean, thank you.
That's very important. But what do you think would be the best, not best, but yes, Mary, you're next. Sorry.
Yeah, the last speaker just took part of what I was thinking from my mouth, you know. And another thing, I'm looking at Africa, for example, and I'm also looking at these little video clips that we're talking about. And I'm wondering how, say, I'm here in West Africa, how do I spread those videos so that those in East Africa or even Central Africa will see them? Again, given the technological issues that may arise in most of the areas that we are wanting to reach. So I've just like been thinking, I'm wondering how, this could be possible. Because if we look at Europe, for example, it's very easy to spread things in Europe. And I'm also talking for places like Latin America. It's also very easy to spread things in North America. But when we look at areas like Latin America, some parts of Asia, and also Africa, and just where we really have this and the Arab world, where we really have this underrepresentation. I don't know how some of what we're talking about could be used. I'm just thinking around.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mary and Maru. It's very important. It's very challenging because not everybody, not the whole world is well connected. But what do you think? What kind of things you use in order to reach out? I'm sure there must be like some kind of platforms. If it's not internet, maybe it is like a radio. I don't know. Does TV still like widespread in those parts of the world? I'm sure. Perhaps there are certain programs that particularly focus on culture, perhaps. What we do here, we have also the Kyrgyzstan is a very mountainous country, like 97% of the country is covered by mountains. So not many rural areas are connected to internet and everything. So what we do is that we have network of community radio, I don't know, like a network. So and then they transfer the information through the Nate radio, and then they have monthly guests where they talk about different challenges, different shows and programs, and like all the news, and then it gets all broadcasted. And then some of our community, ICH community leaders, and we as NGO, we also go and take part in those programs, and that's how we spread the word into those areas. Perhaps that could be one of the options if the social networking doesn't really help. So what do you think? You're there, so you know the reality is better than us.
Yes, the advantage of ABE is that we have been on the social ground and looking after our beneficiaries and their parents for 40 years. So we know that to reach the community, you can't just use technology, because the first barrier is to give people the assurance that they can participate at a greater level. So what we use is the direct contact. We have to go meet people, explain to them one by one, and it's in this way that you better get people to come, and then you have to accompany them to get them to be computer literate and everything. Give them the empower them, okay, so that they be able to speak. So it's a long process, but it's also it gives result. It gives result, but you have to get the time, and it's time consuming. And I don't know if it works, if it's gonna work in Africa, but this is how we do it here. For example, as I was saying in my presentation, this association of Segatypic practitioners, I went to every part of the country in Mauritius, north, south, east, west, met the artists there, explained to them and their family that what they were doing was important, not only on the performance level, but they had something to share, and it was important for them to meet other people, to regroup, so that we come into a federation. And it took some 5 to 6 months to get everybody. And that it's a struggle. It's always a struggle, because sometimes people don't have money to pay for the transport. We have to organize the transport, but at least we have this organization now, which regroups all the Segatypic practitioners, some very elderly people too, who come and meet once a month, and they come to our association. So my association, we provide admin facilities and lunch and tea and coffee breaks and everything, so that we come and share. And it's been like now 3 years that the association is alive and very vocal in Mauritius. So this is an example, and this is why I'm saying that every country must look for their way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Mary.
Yeah, I think this is very important, and how we have discussed about this like properly with the internet infrastructure and the need for kind of face-to-face, like a field work. How do you say? But also, I think it's important to take care of like different levels and understand our working group. We can't actually go to every country to do that. It's not maybe our job to do the field work in the. It's maybe our organization's work, as you said, Mauro, and. But I think that like we try to find the ways to help this kind of field work, or the groundwork or the real work. And there are, I think, some technical solutions who can help, but of course we have to understand that it can't be all of it. It won't kind of fix the problem if we only do that. And so this is why I think it's very, very important to keep this on your mind all the time. But on the other hand, I think it's also important to make it to use these internet possibilities that we now have, because on the other hand, even though it's kind of leaving some people out, it's also getting some people in at the same time, because for some communities it's possible to be online but not physically like participate in the meetings, for example, and those communities are from the underrepresented and from the southern countries or from the global south, or so it differs. But I think it's just we have to keep in mind the variety and the dangers if we only believe that everything works in one format in a way. But also I think it's very important to focus on the kind of the regional knowledge and do it differently in every region to have this possibility.
So that's why, thank you, Mary. It's very valuable input. So that's why we're trying to have as many people to take part in the group as possible. And then we also, that's why we're having these presentations from each region, just to see and to understand what challenges NGOs face in each region, and so we can better address the challenges. So first and foremost, of course, is to understand the challenges, because different regions, different countries, they have many different challenges. So that's why the presentations from each region for each of the meetings, it's a very important aspect of our work. So yeah, we can have start building a general picture, and as we already told, we're making baby steps. It's so we'll start with this, and then we'll see where it takes us. So it's important to keep going and building on what we have. And for the next meeting, we already have agreed Pinar from Turkey agreed to make a presentation. So we'll see what's in that part of the world, what kind of situation they have with NGOs and what challenges they have. So I think it's been a very wonderful meeting. It's very productive, and it's very effective, and time-wise, we're perfect. It's I think, yeah, 10:30, just at the nick of time, because we planned our meetings to be 1.5 hours long, not too long and not too short. So we all have opportunity to discuss everything that we would like to discuss. Yes, and thank you so much for all of you, for your time, for your energy, for your input. It was very wonderful, and hope to see you next time, and hoping to have more of us together, and yeah, and our work to progress. Thank you so much once again. Yeah. Yeah.
Bye
See
bye.
you.
Thank
yeah,
you.
See
Thank
you
you so
next
much.
time.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.